Before you spend another dime, stop. What if one tiny Roosevelt dime in your pocket is secretly worth millions of dollars? Today, we're revealing the top 3 rare Roosevelt dimes, the 1970D, 1968D, and 1987P, including the rare errors and key details collectors are paying huge money to own. You won't believe what to look for. A coin that, to the untrained eye, looks like any other dime. But to those who know what to look for, it is a ghost, a modern treasure, and a ticket to a life-changing payday. We are talking about the 1970D Roosevelt dime. Every single day, millions of these coins change hands. They are used to buy coffee, pay for parking, and make up the spare change we toss into jars without a second thought. And that, right there, is the tragedy. Because most people are spending small fortunes without even knowing it. Stop for a moment and think. How many times have you emptied your pockets at the end of the day and tossed a handful of dimes into a drawer? How many times have you seen the date 1970 and thought nothing of it? You are not alone. But here is the hard truth. The difference between a 10-cent piece and a 6-figure windfall is simply a matter of knowing what to look for. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of the most elusive and valuable errors in modern American numismatics. We are going to uncover the history, the technical details, and the mind-blowing market value of the 1970D Roosevelt dime. By the end of this video, you will never look at your pocket change the same way again. Let's begin. To understand why this coin is so special, we have to travel back to 1970. The United States Mint was operating at a breakneck pace, producing billions of coins to meet the demands of the American economy. The Denver Mint alone struck a staggering 754,942,100 dimes that year. With that many coins produced, you would think there is nothing rare about them. And you would be right for the most part. A standard, worn 1970D dime is worth exactly 10 cents. Even an uncirculated one might only fetch a few dollars. But hidden among those 754 million coins are a select few that are unlike any other. These are the error coins, the anomalies, the mistakes that turned ordinary currency into extraordinary treasure. The first major error to look for is the reverse of 1968 variety, also known as FS 901. You see, in 1968, the Mint used a specific reverse die for proof coins. In 1970, a small number of Denver business strike dimes were accidentally struck using this proof quality die. The result is a coin with a distinct, more prominent flame on the torch. To the naked eye, it might just look like a well-struck dime. But to a collector, it is a sign of something extraordinary. Then there is the double die reverse, or FS 802. This error occurs when the die used to stamp the coin is slightly misaligned during the hubbing process, creating a ghost-like doubling of the lettering. On the 1970D, you can see this doubling on the words States of America and Unum. It is a subtle but unmistakable mark that can send the value of a dime soaring into the hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. But the real holy grail, the coin that makes collectors' hearts beat faster, is the 1970S No-S proof dime. Now wait a second. We are talking about the 1970D, right? Yes, we are. But the 1970S No-S is the key to understanding why the 1970D is so valuable. You see, in 1970, the San Francisco Mint produced a small number of proof dimes for inclusion in special collector sets. These coins were supposed to bear an S mint mark. However, a die was shipped from Philadelphia without the mint mark punched in. As a result, approximately 2,200 of these proof dimes were struck without the S. Today, these coins are worth anywhere from $500 to over $6,000, depending on their grade. But here is where it gets interesting. The existence of the No-S proof dime created a ripple effect across the entire 1970 dime series. Collectors, hungry for any error or variety, began scrutinizing every single 1970 dime they could find. And that is when they discovered the secrets of the 1970D. The 1970D coins, with their reverse of 1968 and double die errors, became highly sought after. They are the ghosts of the series, the business strike coins that accidentally inherited the characteristics of their proof cousins. And the finest examples, those in pristine, uncirculated condition, are incredibly rare. Think about that for a moment. We are talking about a coin that was minted in the hundreds of millions. Yet, the specific error varieties are so scarce that they have become legends in the numismatic community. Finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the size of a small country and the needle is worth a fortune. So what is this coin actually worth? This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. While a standard 1970D dime is worth a dime, and even a nice uncirculated example might only bring a few dollars, the error varieties are a completely different story. A 1970D reverse of 1968 dime in MS67 grade can command a price of around $500. A double die reverse example can sell for $25 to $400 or more, and if you are lucky enough to find a 1970D with full bands, meaning the horizontal bands on the torch are fully separated and clearly defined, the value can exceed $2,000 in top grades. But the numbers we have just mentioned are just the beginning. The market for rare coins is hot, and it is getting hotter. In recent years, we have seen a surge of interest in modern era coins, driven by stories of everyday people finding fortunes in their pocket change. Think about the 1975 No-S proof dime. That coin, which is essentially the same type of error as the 1970 No-S, sold at auction for over $500,000. That is $500,000 for a single dime. And the 1970D, with its unique errors and limited availability, is positioned to be the next big thing. Imagine for a second that you are the one who finds it. You are going through your change jar, or maybe you are sorting through a roll of dimes from the bank. You spot a 1970D and, out of curiosity, you take a closer look. You notice the flame on the torch looks a little different, or you see the doubling on the lettering. Your heart starts to race. You do a little research, and you realize you are holding a coin that could be worth $710,000. That is not a fantasy. That is a real possibility. And this is where the fear of missing out kicks in. Because while you are sitting here watching this video, there are thousands of people out there actively searching for these coins. They are going to banks asking for rolls of dimes. They are checking their change jars. They are looking at every single dime they come across. And one of them is going to find the next big score. Why shouldn't it be you? The window of opportunity is closing. As more and more people learn about these coins, the harder they will be to find. The ones that are still out there, hiding in circulation, are slowly being pulled out by savvy collectors. The longer you wait, the less chance you have of finding one. So what should you do? The answer is simple. Start looking. Right now. Go get that jar of change you have been ignoring. Empty out your pockets. Look at every single dime you have. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. And if you find a 1970D, do not spend it. Set it aside and examine it carefully. Get a magnifying glass or even just a good pair of reading glasses and look at the details. Look at the torch on the reverse. Does the flame look more detailed than usual? Look at the lettering. Do you see any doubling? Look at the bands on the torch. Are they fully separated? If you see any of these signs, you might have something special. But be warned, not all errors are created equal. There is a common trap called machine doubling, which is flat and shelf-like and adds absolutely no value to the coin. Only the rounded, notched hub doubling that comes from a true die error counts. So do your research. Know what you are looking for. And if you think you have found a genuine error, the next step is to get it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC are the gold standard in the industry. They will examine your coin, verify its authenticity, and assign it a grade. A certified coin is not only more valuable, but it is also much easier to sell. The numismatic market is a world of hidden wealth, and the 1970D Roosevelt dime is one of its greatest secrets. It is a coin that represents the perfect intersection of history, error, and rarity. It is a testament to the fact that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. We have covered a lot of ground today. We have explored the history of the 1970D, the technical details of its most valuable errors, and the eye-popping prices they can command. We have talked about the 1970S No-S proof, the reverse of 1968, and the double die reverse. We have shown you exactly what to look for and why this coin is a ghost in the market. Now, the ball is in your court. The next time you get change, take a second look. The next time you see a 1970 dime, do not just dismiss it. Could be the key to unlocking a new chapter in your life. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. The world of rare coins is vast and full of incredible stories of ordinary people finding extraordinary wealth. There are other ultra-rare coins out there, just waiting to be discovered. And in our next video, we are going to reveal another one. A coin so rare, so valuable, and so easy to overlook that it will blow your mind. You will not want to miss it. So, make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you are the first to know when we release it. The hunt for hidden treasure never ends, and the next great find could be yours. In the grand theater of American numismatics, there exists a ghost. It is a coin that you have likely held in your hand, perhaps spent on a cup of coffee, or ignored in a pile of pocket change. It is the 1987 P Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime, a coin that, on the surface, appears to be just another piece of everyday currency. But beneath its unassuming exterior lies a secret, a confluence of minting errors and extreme rarity that has transformed this 10-cent piece into a legendary artifact, with a potential market value that has sent shockwaves through the collecting community. We are talking about a coin that could be worth up to $680,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single dime, minted in Philadelphia in 1987, could be the key to unlocking a life-changing fortune. This is not a drill, and this is not a myth. This is the reality of the 1987 P. Roosevelt dime. Before we dive into the intricate details of this numismatic marvel, we must first confront a harsh truth. Every single day, ordinary Americans are handling extraordinary wealth without even knowing it. They are the unwitting spenders, casually trading away coins that could pay off their mortgages, fund their retirements, or secure their children's futures. Then, there are the collectors, the vigilant few who understand that true value often hides in plain sight. The difference between these two groups is not luck. It is knowledge. It is the awareness that a seemingly ordinary piece of pocket change can be a vessel for immense wealth. The 1987 P. Roosevelt dime is the ultimate embodiment of this principle. It is the ultimate test of your financial awareness. So, I ask you right now, when was the last time you actually looked at the coins in your pocket? When was the last time you inspected a dime for anything other than its face value? If you cannot remember, you are not alone. But after today, you will never look at a dime the same way again. To understand the profound value of this coin, we must first understand its historical context. The Roosevelt dime, a tribute to the 32nd president who championed the March of Dimes, was first struck in 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, it has been a mainstay of American currency for decades. The 1987 P edition was a business strike, produced at the Philadelphia Mint. With a massive mintage of over 762 million coins, one would assume it is as common as any other dime. And in most grades, that assumption holds true. According to the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, the 1987 P. Roosevelt dime is fairly easy to find in circulation in most grades. The composition is standard for the era. A copper-nickel-clad composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper center. It weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. So, what could possibly make one of these 762 million coins worth more than a house? The answer lies in the microscopic details, the anomalies of the minting process, and the specific error marks that transform a common coin into a legendary rarity. The 1987 P. Roosevelt dime is a ghost in the market because its value does not come from its grade alone, but from the specific and rare errors that can be found on a select few specimens. Let's confront the technical specifics head-on. One of the most intriguing possibilities is a misplaced mint mark. The mint mark P, which designates the Philadelphia Mint, is supposed to be positioned in a specific location relative to the date. However, some 1987 P dimes have been identified with the P mint mark positioned above the 8 in 1987, more so than over the 7, and it sits closer to the date than on standard strikes. While some collectors debate whether a slight misplacement constitutes a significant error, the potential for a dramatic misplacement or a die variety has created a fervor among those hunting for treasure. But the true value lies in more dramatic and undeniable errors. Consider the double-struck error. This occurs when a coin is struck not once, but twice by the die. Imagine a coin that failed to eject from the coinage chamber after its first strike and ended up atop a blank planchet for a second, off-center strike. The result is a surreal, artistic piece where the design is duplicated or slides across the surface. This is not a mere curiosity. It is a significant mint error that commands a premium. Then there are the struck-through errors, where a foreign object, perhaps a piece of detached reeding or grease, came between the die and the planchet during the striking process. This leaves an impression of the object on the coin, creating a unique and highly collectible piece. A certified example of a mint error 1987 Roosevelt dime struck through detached reeding has been sold at auction, proving that these errors are not just theoretical. They are tangible, tradable assets. The most extreme and valuable errors, however, are the off-metal or transitional errors. These are the holy grails of coin collecting. A transitional error happens when a coin is struck on a planchet meant for a previous year or a different denomination. The most famous example is the 1943 Lincoln cent struck on a 1942 copper blank. While a specific 1987 dime struck on a wrong planchet is extraordinarily rare, the potential for such an error exists. Imagine a 1987 dime struck on a silver planchet from a previous era, or on a planchet meant for a nickel or a quarter. The value of such a coin would be astronomical. The very existence of these ghost coins, these anomalies that slipped through the cracks of the minting process, is what drives the market to such feverish heights. It is the pursuit of these errors that turns a simple hobby into a high-stakes treasure hunt. The market for these error coins is not a quiet, gentle stream. It is a roaring river of demand and escalating value. The scarcity of these specific errors is the primary fuel for their astronomical prices. Let's talk about the full bands FB designation. This refers to the presence of complete, horizontal lines on the bands across the torch on the reverse of the dime. Examples displaying full bands characteristics are very hard to find. Any example with full bands is very scarce, especially in MS67 full bands or higher. A standard 1987 dime in MS68 condition can sell for a few $100s. But when you combine a high grade with a dramatic error, the value skyrockets. Some of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes of all time, like the 1975 No-S proof, are worth a fortune precisely because of a rare minting mistake. The 1987 is the next frontier in this high-stakes game. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the $680,000 valuation. While this figure represents the absolute pinnacle of potential value for a 1987 dime in pristine condition with a combination of the rarest known errors, it is a figure that has been discussed and debated in numismatic circles. It is a testament to the coin's potential. It is a number that speaks to the feverish excitement and the belief that the next great numismatic discovery is just waiting to be found in a jar of change. This is not a guaranteed value for every 1987 dime. Far from it. But it is a realistic potential for a coin that possesses the perfect storm of rarity. A high mint state grade, a certified and dramatic error like a double strike or an off-metal strike, and the insatiable demand from collectors who are willing to pay a premium for the unique and the extraordinary. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. The market for rare coins is hot. Auction records are being broken regularly. Collectors and investors are actively seeking out these hidden treasures. The window of opportunity to discover a coin like the 1987 error dime in your possession is closing. Every day, more of these coins are lost to circulation, melted down, or simply overlooked. The time to act is now. You must become one of the vigilant, one of the informed. You must stop being a spender and become a collector. Your financial future could depend on it. So here is your call to action. Go to your coin jar. Empty your pockets. Look at every dime you can find. Examine the date. Look for the mint mark. Inspect the coin for any anomalies. A double image, a misplaced mark, or an unusual texture. You are not just looking for a coin. You are looking for a ghost. You are looking for a piece of history that could change your life. But our journey into the world of hidden wealth does not end here. The 1987 Roosevelt dime is just one chapter in a vast and fascinating story. There are other coins, other errors, and other treasures waiting to be discovered. In our next episode, we will uncover the secrets of another ultra-rare coin, a coin so elusive that its very existence is a matter of legend. We will explore its history, its errors, and its potential to make you a millionaire. You will not want to miss it. Subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and join us as we continue to uncover the hidden wealth that lies in the palm of your hand. Your fortune is waiting. All you have to do is look. Every single day, millions of Americans empty their pockets, toss loose change into jars, and walk right past a fortune without ever knowing it. You have done it. I have done it. We all have. But what if I told you that right now, somewhere out there, sitting in a coffee can on a dusty shelf, buried in a forgotten drawer, or even tucked inside your very own pocket change, there could be a single dime worth more than most people make in a decade. Not a gold coin, not a silver dollar, a dime, a tiny, 10-cent piece of clad metal that could buy you a house, pay off your debts, or finally give you the financial freedom you have been chasing your entire life. We are talking about the 1968 D Mint Mark Roosevelt one-dime coin, a ghost in the numismatic world, a coin so rare and so shrouded in mystery that when the right specimen appears, it has the potential to command a staggering $750,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly. $750,000 for a single dime. And here is the question that should keep you up tonight. Are you the spender who mindlessly tosses this treasure into a vending machine? Or are you the collector who recognizes hidden wealth when it stares you right in the face? Because the difference between those two people is not luck. It is knowledge. And right now, I am going to give you that knowledge. Before we dive into the technical depths of this incredible coin, I need you to pause for just a moment. Look around you. Think about every handful of change you have ever received from a cashier, every coin you have ever dismissed as worthless pocket lint. Now ask yourself this: when was the last time you actually looked at the date and mint mark on a dime before you spent it? Be honest. Most of you are shaking your heads right now because the answer is never. And that is exactly why these coins are still out there waiting to be discovered. The 1968 D Roosevelt dime is not some ancient artifact buried in a shipwreck. It is a modern coin. It was struck right here in the United States, in Denver to be exact, and it entered circulation just like billions of other dimes. But somewhere along the way, something went terribly wrong at the mint, and that mistake, that beautiful, lucrative mistake, created one of the most elusive and valuable error coins in modern American history. The year 1968 was a pivotal moment for the United States Mint. The country had just emerged from a severe coin shortage, and the mint was working overtime to produce enough coinage to keep the economy moving. In 1965, the mint had actually removed mint marks from all coins in an attempt to discourage collecting and keep coins in circulation. But by 1968, mint marks were back, and the San Francisco Mint had taken over the responsibility of striking proof coins, a duty that had traditionally belonged to the Philadelphia Mint. This transition was supposed to be seamless. It was not. During this chaotic period, a small number of proof dimes were struck in San Francisco without the all-important S-Mint mark. Those became the legendary 1968 No S proof dimes, and they are worth a fortune. But the story does not end there. The Denver Mint, responsible for the D Mint mark, was also caught up in the frenzy of production. And while the No S error gets most of the headlines, the 1968 D Mint mark Roosevelt dime harbors its own secrets, its own errors, and its own potential for life-changing wealth. Let us get technical for a moment because this is where the real money lies. The standard 1968 D Roosevelt dime is not rare. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 480 million of them that year. That is nearly 500 million coins. Most of them are worth exactly 10 cents, maybe a little more if they are in pristine condition. In MS-67 condition, they become scarcer, and with the coveted full bands designation on the reverse, meaning the horizontal lines on the torch bands are fully struck and visible, they can command a premium. But we are not talking about standard coins. We are talking about errors. And the 1968 D-dime has some of the most fascinating and valuable errors ever documented. You have the double die obverse varieties, where the design elements show a clear and distinct doubling effect, a mistake that occurs during the die hubbing process. You have repunched mint mark varieties, where the D-mint mark was punched into the die more than once, leaving visible traces of the earlier punch. You have off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and even silver planchet errors, where a dime was accidentally struck on a silver planchet meant for a different year. Each of these errors adds value, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But there is one error, one specific combination of circumstances, that elevates the 1968 D-dime from interesting to absolutely extraordinary. Here is where the ghost story begins. While the 1968 no-S proof dime is well known and documented, with perhaps only a few dozen examples known to exist, the 1968 D-mint mark error coins are even more enigmatic. The market for these coins is thin and volatile. They appear so rarely at auction that tracking their true value is like chasing a shadow. But when they do appear, the results are staggering. A 1968 D-dime with a significant mint error, properly authenticated and graded, can sell for sums that most people cannot even fathom. We are talking about coins that have sold for $48,875. We are talking about coins that have reached $40,000. And we are talking about the potential for a coin, a single tiny dime, to reach $750,000. That is not a typo. That is the number that has numismatists and collectors around the world holding their breath. But wait, before you run off to check your change jar, I need to give you a critical warning. This is the part that separates the informed collector from the disappointed dreamer. The absence of a mint mark on a 1968 dime means absolutely nothing unless that coin has proof surfaces. You see, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 424 million business strike dimes in 1968 without a mint mark. They are common. They are worth 10 cents. The rare no-S error is a proof coin, struck in San Francisco with mirror-like fields, frosted devices, and squared rims. If you find a 1968 dime with no mint mark and it looks like a regular, everyday coin, you have not hit the jackpot. You have a pocket piece. But if you find a 1968 dime with a D-mint mark that exhibits a dramatic error, a doubled die, a repunched mint mark, a missing clad layer, or an off-center strike, then you need to pay attention, because those are the coins that can change your life. Let me reset your attention for a moment. I want you to visualize something. Imagine walking into a coin dealer with a handful of change you found in your grandfather's old dresser. You are not expecting much. Maybe a few dollars for the silver content. But then the dealer looks at one coin, a 1968 D-dime, and his face goes pale. He calls over his partner. They examine it under a magnifying glass. They weigh it. They measure it. And then they look at you with a mixture of disbelief and barely concealed excitement. They offer you $50,000 on the spot. You are stunned. You do not know what to say. But you remember this video, and you remember what I told you. Do not sell. Not yet. Because that coin, that tiny, unassuming dime, might be worth $750,000. That is not a fantasy. That is the reality of the numismatic market right now. The market for rare error coins is hotter than it has ever been. Collectors are hungry for authenticated, high-grade specimens. The 1975 no-S proof Roosevelt dime, another missing mint mark error, recently sold for over $500,000. Another example sold for $456,000. The 1968 no-S proof dime has sold for nearly $49,000. And the 1968 D error coins, with their unique varieties and extreme scarcity, are poised to follow the same trajectory. The demand is there. The supply is not. And when demand outstrips supply, prices skyrocket. That is basic economics. That is the force that turns a 10-cent coin into a $750,000 treasure. Now, let us talk about the specific errors you need to look for, because not all errors are created equal. A minor off-center strike might net you a few $100s. A repunched mint mark might get you $40. But a dramatic double die obverse, where the doubling is clear and unmistakable, can be worth thousands. A missing clad layer error, where one side of the coin is missing its outer copper nickel layer and shows the pure copper core, can sell for hundreds or more. A silver planchet error, where a 1968 D dime was accidentally struck on a silver dime planchet from 1964, is a transitional error of the highest order and can bring 5 figures. And if you find a 1968 D dime with a combination of errors, or an error that has never been documented before, you could be holding a coin that numismatists have only dreamed about. That is the kind of coin that sets auction records. That is the kind of coin that commands $750,000. But here is the catch, and this is important. Any claim of a valuable error must be verified by professional authentication services like PCGS or NGC. The market is full of unscrupulous sellers who have polished common Philadelphia business strikes to simulate proof surfaces. Machine doubling, which is a form of die damage, is often mistaken for true double dies, but it has no numismatic value. You cannot just look at a coin and assume it is worth a fortune. You have to know what you are looking for. You have to understand the diagnostics, and you have to be willing to invest the time and money to have your coin properly graded. Because without that certification, your $750,000 coin is just a 10-cent piece in the eyes of the market. Let me bring this home for you. The 1968 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1-dime coin is not just a coin. It is a symbol of hidden wealth. It is a reminder that fortune favors the observant. Every day, millions of these coins pass through hands, through cash registers, through vending machines, and through bank deposits. And every day, the vast majority of people see nothing but pocket change. But you are not the vast majority. You are watching this video because you want to know more. You want to see what others miss. You want to be the person who finds the treasure. And that is the mindset that leads to discovery. So here is your call to action. Right now, I want you to pause this video and go check your change jar. Go check your car's cup holder. Go check that old coat pocket you have not worn in years. Look at every 1968 dime you can find. Look at the mint mark. Look for doubling. Look for missing layers. Look for off-center strikes. And if you find something that looks unusual, do not spend it. Do not lose it. Protect it. Get it authenticated. Because you might just be holding a ticket to financial freedom. And if you do not find anything today, do not be discouraged. The hunt is part of the thrill. The knowledge you have gained today is the most valuable tool you can possess. Keep looking. Keep learning. Keep searching. Because the next time you get change from a coffee shop, the next time you empty your pockets at the end of the day, you might just find the ghost. And speaking of ghosts, next time, we are going to uncover the secrets of another ultra-rare coin that has been hiding in plain sight for decades. This one is so rare, so elusive, and so valuable that it makes the 1968 D dime look like pocket change. You will not want to miss it. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Because the next treasure could be yours, but only if you know where to look. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep your change close, and never underestimate the value of what is right in front of you.